Hello, it's me, Jill, back again for another Talky Talk video. So I got the idea to do this based on two of my recent dance videos. And it's basically about like knowing the difference between when you should be walking away from something because it's not good for you and it's triggering you because it's like not respecting your boundaries. Or is it a trigger because it's asking you to go beyond your current boundaries and grow, It's a very kind of like tricky lesson that we get in Earth School, in my opinion. And it depends on a number of factors, and there's a lot of gray area. And I think that like in mainstream culture, there is a lot of oversimplification of the concept of something like cancel culture, if that makes sense. So anyways, first I'm going to invite you to come into like a calm state of like receiving mode, Just take a couple deep breaths. Maybe have something to drink with you, something relaxing, get under a blanket. Just allow yourself to get out of your head and come into your body. I want you to know that I always surround myself with light, and if you wish to receive it, I'm sending you healing light now and surrounding you with this protective light and setting the intention that you receive the wisdom and healing that you need at this point in your journey. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So in my opinion, healing our chakras is a very important part of kind of make or break, like making it in this world. And why do I say that? So we are conditioned to live in scarcity mindset, which is like an unhealed root chakra. We are conditioned to have codependent relationships, which is one symptom of an unhealed sacral chakra. And we also are very disempowered because we are shown that decision-making power and power over our lives lies outside of us and not within us. And that is a hallmark of an unhealed solar plexus chakra. Those are the three lower chakras. Their names in Sanskrit are Manipura, which is the solar plexus, Svadhisthana, which is the sacral chakra, and Muladhara, which is the root chakra. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a little background about that. The chakras are obviously a concept discussed in the Vedas, which are like the ancient Indian scriptures, and they are thought of as like spinning wheels of energy that sit along our spine. And not coincidentally, modern medicine shows us that like where these chakras are located actually coincides with where our like major nerve plexuses, our nerve centers, are along the spine. And we know that electricity and magnetism and energy is always like converting between the two, and multiple forms of energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed, la 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 la. I love physics and chemistry. And I love the way these things are all coming together now for me. I love like explaining, doing little tidbits for people. But anyways, like to me, it's not that far-fetched when you have an understanding of physics that, like where you have these major nerve centers where there's a lot of electricity happening, there's going to be other kinds of energy floating around as well. And obviously, given that the human body uses electricity as a way to like communicate with the world and within itself, like it's really not far-fetched to me to imagine how outside energies can impact our own and affect our body and affect our firing patterns and all that good stuff. So anyways, nice little tangent there. So I always, whenever I'm faced with a moment of like, I feel triggered, I don't know what to do, I don't want to do this thing that someone is asking me for or that my business is asking me to do, and it's like is it a moment of like, well, you get to decide because this is your life, or is it like you should do this because it's really gonna benefit you even though you don't want to? When we have trauma, we don't know the difference between those two things. So what's my suggestion to you? Slow down, practice self-care. Some amazing advice that I received from my mentor that I am still incorporating is don't feel pressured to give quick answers or make quick decisions. When we make decisions quickly without really thinking it through, we're more likely to act from a place of wounding and act based on old patterns and habits rather than really taking the time to expand into the new. We only access creativity and abstract problem solving when our lower chakras are in good shape, because if you don't think that the world is a safe place, or if you depend on somebody else to give you a feeling of safety and love, or, if you just like think that like the world is against you and that you have no personal power to affect change for yourself, like you're not even going to get to that point of creative problem solving because you're too obsessed. Your energy is all focused on those things which are draining. We all know like having a roof over your head and food to eat is the most important thing. And when we don't have those things, they really, they impact our ability to kind of like move up. So obviously I'm very grateful, and it is a luxury for all of us who are working on personal development to be able to do that, because it means that our basic needs are met and we're not worrying about them. So practicing self-care first and foremost, so that when you are faced with a challenge or a trigger, you are able to take a step back and you're not reacting from your old place of wounding. You're able to say, okay, what's really going on here? If you don't feel safe, then the decisions that you make are going to be based on getting yourself safety and security. If you do feel safe, then like I used the word luxury on purpose, then you're going to make a different decision. You may make a different decision. You're going to take a different amount of time to work through that because you don't have this pressure on you. And like I said, that's where we're able to access creative problem solving and abstract thinking. So that's why I always talk about self-care because it's so important when it comes to like personal development. So the very first thing that you should be doing when you notice that you are triggered or that something is upsetting you, a situation in front of you, is like, okay, take some deep breaths, calm down, know that you're okay, be present in your body. I find like doing this really helps me, rubbing my chest, stay present in my body when I want to dissociate, when I get triggered. It really helps me stay present in the conversation and continue honoring myself. We all have, different techniques. But anyways, practice self-care of some kind. The more self-care that you practice in your everyday life, the more easily you will be able to access it in moments of triggers. So obviously, like I'm kind of talking about something that's not like an immediate pressure or threat in the moment. I'm talking about things that are like someone calls you and asks you for a favor, it's kind of being put on the spot, but like you're also in the safety of your own home. You know what I mean? Or, like, should I go to this meeting? Should I take on this, this client conversation or whatever? So practice these affirmations, know that you are safe. And if your body is having a hard time, like if I'm saying like, oh, I'm safe, I know I'm safe, but like your body's not convinced, because that can often happen. Do things for yourself that will make your body feel safe. I'm hearing warm glass of milk. That's disgusting to me, but maybe that's something that somebody does to comfort themselves, like make some golden milk, make a cup of tea, get under a blanket, get a hug from someone you love, hug yourself. I live alone. You have like no idea how often I hug myself. Let's go ahead and edit that one out. Yeah, so practice your self-care, sleep on it. Like I said, like never feel pressured to make a quick decision. And when someone or something is pressuring you to make a quick decision, that's a red flag for emotional abuse, because we respect the people that we love and we allow them the opportunity to say yes, no, or maybe. And if someone isn't giving you that respect, that's not okay. So sleep on it. Make a list of like, what are your bigger goals? You know, does this thing that you don't want to do, or that you're being asked to do, how does it relate to your bigger goals? You know, do you value this person? Is this someone that you really love asking you for a favor that you don't really want to do? What is the favor? How much notice have they given you? You know, like think about those real world concrete things, as opposed to letting your trigger run away with yourself and be like, oh, they're always asking me at the last minute. They don't value me. I have this going on. I've got that going on. I've already got enough on my plate. La, 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 la. You know, your emotions run away with themselves, and then it turns into a bigger deal than it needs to be, when in actuality, all you have to do is just like do those grounding techniques that I mentioned, practice your self-care, and then just ask yourself, you know, like I love to sit down with a paper and a pen. I find it really helps me get out of my head, because if I try to problem solve in my own head, I kind of like go in circles, but we all have our way. So anyways, ask yourself, you know, like what is it about this that is bothering me? How does it relate to my bigger goals? Does it help them? Does it take away from them? Can I accommodate this right now? Like there's always multiple factors. It's very rare that it's like one big obvious thing hitting us over the head. It's really, you hear me talk a lot about heart-centered spirituality and about grounding, because like I really am all about the heart and compassion, because we're not, it's very difficult to progress from a place of anger. Anger motivates us to do things like protect ourselves and set boundaries, but when you act based on anger day to day, on a regular basis, you're more likely to kind of stay stuck in that like lower chakra wounding that I was talking about. So, and often in my experience, like compassion helps us sort of access that bigger picture, and also kind of see like, how can we make the situation work out for everyone? Because it's unlikely that the person asking you a favor is doing it because they're like out to get you, you know? Most of the time, it's more about misunderstandings than it is about like outright bullying. And once you've made a decision about whether you want to like do this thing and face the trigger or not, make a decision and go through with it. Commit to it and go through with it. Knowing, even if, let's say, like you go through the process and you regret having said yes and you're like, I didn't want to do that. At least you went through that process knowing that you are the one taking care of yourself and you are the one calling the shots. And you can always say, I'm not going to do that one again. Or, you know, that wasn't so bad. And I can see how that person really needed my time. And, you know, I'm glad that I did it. And I'm going to let them know that like next time I need a little bit more time. But anyways, like it's a very trivial example. And obviously like I'm kind of pulling from my own experiences. But yeah. All that to say, basically the moral of the story is take your time. Take your time, stay grounded, practice your self-care, and stay in touch with your inner child, you know, and you don't, in order to have those kinds of conversations, you need to carve out time for taking care of yourself at home. You need quiet time. You need time to turn off the noise and allow your higher self and your inner child and your guardian angels to speak to you, because they're not noisy. My inner child is quite noisy, but the problem is I still need to practice self-care and create quiet space in order to understand what my inner child needs from me at this point in my journey. Because when I am put on the spot, let's say, and I'm out in public, it's like I know my inner child is like participating in some way by being like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like this like temper tantrum rising in me, but I have to be an adult about it, but I don't want to, you know? And it's like, it's not until I am alone and having that conversation with myself that I kind of say like, what's going on? You know, like, are you okay with this? Tell me what's up. how come you're not okay with it? And then it's sort of like this adult-child conversation. I have also found that really healing, in addition to taking care of my lower chakras in the ways that I describe in this video and others. So anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. There is so much to discuss and dive into in this like world of psycho-spirituality, like psychology, not psychotic. And yeah, there's so many different conversations to have. And if anything I said doesn't resonate with you, like, don't feel like you have to take it. Everyone has an opinion at the end of the day, and it's not for me or anyone else to tell you what's right for you in this moment right now. If you are looking for more guidance, I do offer Reiki and Tarot online, and I'm very happy you're here. Do please like, share, and subscribe, and check out my belly dancing videos if you're interested in learning about how to embody healed lower chakras, because that's what the dance did for me. And that's why we're here. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to stop talking now. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.